I'm gonna start this right now then. All right, first of all, what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Jazmin. I am from New York City.
My name is Zinia, and I'm from San Francisco, California.
Okay, wow. So let me ask you first, what was your first impressions when you came to New York?
I thought it was really overwhelming, honestly,
Uh-huh.
because of all the stimulation that happens, like with all the lights and all the people.
Yeah.
But as I got to like spend more time here,
Uh-huh.
I really like it.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do, and there's
Right.
a lot of places that you can go, and there's like
Yeah.
even within all the like touristy stuff, there's
Uh-huh.
like always like
Yeah.
a hidden gem that you can find.
What are some hidden gems that you found since you came here?
I'm not really sure. I can't really think of any right now, but
Okay.
I really like the High Line. I know that's kind of a touristy thing, but I just like sitting on the benches and just looking out on the view. I also really like I also really like Fort Greene in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I think it's a really nice street and they have a lot of cool places.
You're the second person to say that.
Oh, I guess it's not that hidden, but I like Fort Greene is a nice area.
Now you talked about hidden gems in New York. What are some hidden gems in San Francisco that we should know about?
In San Francisco, there's this pizza place that I go to called Golden Boys Pizza.
Yeah.
It's in Little Italy, and it's like in a bar. It's really cool. I like going there all the time. And the pizza's really good, and the people are super friendly. And then I guess
Mission Ink Tattoo.
yeah,
That's a hidden gem tattoo parlor.
That's a
very
really good
inexpensive,
place.
great service.
yeah. Also, I would say, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, I really like those are like my favorite places to go.
Now every city has its advantages and disadvantages. What are some things that New York is missing that San Francisco has? Like, what are some things you're like, yeah, I wish they had that here?
I think New Yorkers are kind of like in their own bubble.
Yeah.
And I think with San Francisco, there's a lot more emphasis on like grassroots stuff and like community. Not that New York doesn't have it. I just feel like San Francisco has more of it because it's a smaller city. But there's people are more willing to like help each other out. In San Francisco, I feel like New York people are just kind of like doing their own thing, which is fine, but that's just what I noticed.
Everybody's sort of going in their own direction.
Yeah, and like in San Francisco, like there's a lot of stuff like this that happens to like a lot of like street vendors and like parades and stuff, and like a lot of times it's kind of similar, but it's just kind of on a smaller scale. So.
Now, I mean, this is a similar question, but what are some things you miss about San Francisco?
I guess my dad has a place there, and his apartment has a lot of nice views. So I miss the view.
The bay.
I think I also just miss like how easy it is to go somewhere because it's like I said, it's like smaller, so you can like walk to basically anywhere you want to go, or you can kind of sightsee without actually sightseeing.
Hold on, let me turn this thing on. Okay, sorry about that. More you can go sightseeing.
Yeah, you can go sightseeing
easily.
It's basically it's a lot easier to do that than in New York. Like I feel like in New York you kind of have to like hunt for it, but in San Francisco it's basically like on every street,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things to do as well.
You're from San Francisco. There's a Teatro de Zinzani there. Have you ever been there?
No.
It's like this like circus thing where you could like eat while watching the circus.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You're from New York. So let me go into the New Yorker questions. I got like custom made like you remember like those books that you would read in the library where you could like create your own ending?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what this is. Like I got like different questions for different people. So when people ask me like what are you trying to do? But it's like every single person is different because everybody's got a unique and different story. So now what is the difference between Manhattan and the outer boroughs?
Well, most of my family lives in Queens, so I spent a lot more time there than in Manhattan. To be honest, not the biggest fan of it. It's a bit fast-paced for me. I don't know if I should look at the camera too, but
No, just look at the camera. Yeah.
it's
Okay, so you were talking about Queens.
oh shit. So,
You're saying like it's too fast paced here.
oh, yeah. Sorry. It's just I think.
I interviewed him like 3 days ago.
I think it's
He was
a
going
little-
off on like school being a scam.
Really?
Yeah, he said don't go to school.
Yeah, you don't need to. You can go to the public library and get the same education. Sorry.
Yeah, Queens.
Manhattan, I think it's a little bit more difficult to navigate. Also, like, the options for fun, I just think it's expensive, and I think it's a little bit overrated. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
There's less community in Manhattan.
yeah,
Like if you go to like Brooklyn or Queens, or like any other borough, like it's a lot more like family based, and I feel like Manhattan is just like where all the like
It's like a temporary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to like settle here. Like a lot of my family members who lived in Queens or the Bronx, actually, most of them have passed, but like I can still go there and get the same sense of community or home.
Yeah.
And I think it's just I would rather spend like my free days there than I would in Manhattan.
Yeah. I've been getting that a lot from people.
Yeah.
People said that Manhattan's not the real New York.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's a gentrified version of New York, but most of the boroughs are becoming gentrified anyway, so
Yeah.
What does it matter? Long term, what does it matter?
Yeah.
So now, what are some common misconceptions about New York, and what's the reality?
That living here will fix your life.
Where dreams are made of, like not everybody like who goes here like all gets their dreams fulfilled. It's kind of sad, but like it's true.
I think there's an idea that like by coming to New York you kickstart your life. Like it's the place where you start living, but I don't think people understand. Like you find job recession anywhere, you know. Like it's hard to find a job here just because it's like a major city doesn't mean you're gonna find the answer to all your problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people talk about moving to New York, but then I don't know if they'll actually, how long they would last
Yeah,
once
then
they
you're
get
miserable
here.
you're miserable when you get here.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are leaving New York as well. Do you know anyone who's left New York, and where are they going?
Well, I know a lot of people who went back home just because they said New York didn't give them what they thought it would give them, and they felt like thinking about they're paying in rent, you know, public transportation, food, activities, etc., etc. It wasn't worth it. So
A lot
they went
more
back
expensive
home.
than they thought it
to
would be.
suburban towns. But I think that's like if you're going to move to New York, you gotta be ready for like all the shitty aspects.
Yep, definitely. It's not all the glamour and glitz. What are some good places to film? Like, if you were making videos like this, where would you film?
Chelsea Pier. I don't know if you've ever been there before. Chelsea Pier. A lot of really, really nice people down there. Where else? Let's see. Because
Madison Square Garden.
yeah, I film YouTube
Yeah, I've
videos
heard
too,
that.
and I talk to a lot of random people. Madison Square Park is really good. Honestly, anywhere that's
Anywhere
like
in Brooklyn.
NYU based. NYU students can talk for fucking ever. I can say that. Where else would be? That's pretty much all I've got. I think.
Any special talents y'all got?
Me? I'm extremely talentless.
Yeah, I don't have like any like cool thing I could do right now.
All right. What do you want to do when the pandemic ends?
I don't know. I think that I go to school up in Long Island, so I'm visiting, but I think when the pandemic ends, I kind of want to come down here more and just kind of like go to different parts of New York because I've only really explored Manhattan and Brooklyn, and I really want to go visit my friends. A lot of them live in Queens, and a lot of them live in like the Bronx and Staten Island, and I want to go kind of see like the authentic New York experience as opposed to just like living in Manhattan or going up to Long Island where I live. So
Now in San Francisco, you have like the Mission,
yeah,
you have Chinatown,
yeah,
you have the Golden Gate Bridge,
Yeah.
which we will label as the fake San Francisco. Now, what is the real San Francisco? Because you said like the outer boroughs is the real New York. What's the real San
the
Francisco?
real San Francisco. I would say,
Don't. I mean, when we think of San Francisco, we're thinking of that house in Full House.
No, yeah. When I think of the real San Francisco, I think of what's that district called?
Haight Street.
Yeah, Haight Street, Haight Ashbury. I feel like that's.
But that's also very gentrified. That's very
Yeah,
much,
it's
like,
becoming very
white
gentrified,
woman.
but like if you go like right in the heart of it, there's a lot of family-owned restaurants and a lot of things like that. And I think the Castro too, like there's a lot of history in the Castro, and a lot of people kind of don't really realize it, but that's kind of where a lot of movements started.
And the Tenderloin.
And the
too.
Tenderloin, yeah.
Yeah, I
a
heard
lot of
about
people-
that one.
A lot of people like don't really avoid the Tenderloin because there's a lot of misconceptions about like homelessness and like being dangerous. But honestly, like the Tenderloin is a really interesting place. There's a museum in the Tenderloin
Right.
that talks a lot about its history and like how it started. So I
Yeah.
think that it's kind of the true San Francisco, just because you get to see like more authentic people outside of just like Fisherman's Wharf or like things like that that are more touristy. Those are where I like to go mostly. And yeah, also like the Mission District and that stuff.
Where do y'all see yourselves 5 years from now?
Ha!
Ideally, I would be done with grad school, hopefully getting a job at a publication. That's like if I'm really thinking big, but I really want to be a journalist and I really want to cover like crime. So hopefully working for either like the New York Times or the New Yorker or some publication like that.
What do you think about that TV show, Forensic Files?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love
So
it.
good.
I've seen every episode.
Sometimes I'm just sitting there for like hours
It's
and
so
hours.
good.
I'm
I
like, I'm
love
going to
Forensic
sleep.
Files.
And
I'm
I don't want to see the end of this thing.
I'm
She
either
literally falls asleep
I
to
fall asleep
Forensic
to Forensic
Files. She
Files.
has to have
Yeah.
it playing
Yeah.
to fall asleep.
Either crime or politics. I've been really into politics recently, so if
Were you here for the Biden rally?
no.
Everybody, like a lot of the people here that
was
were,
crazy.
you know,
My
they told me it was
My
fire.
school is in the middle of Trump country, so there was a lot of like protesting.
So they came out with the pickup trucks and the flags,
like,
the American
flag.
flags.
One time I was on the road and I saw a guy had a flagpole in his car with the Trump flag.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Not
I
even
seen that
just,
too.
like,
But that was in South Carolina.
Not even just like the flag, like the full flagpole, like it was sticking.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
had,
yeah.
Like, the flag part sticking out of his window. It was,
That's
what
like
the heck?
that's like the thing now, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
so
it's
a
a
lot
growing movement
a
as
lot
well.
of like Trump supporters like in Long Island,
Yeah.
especially kind of like had like their own protests. Like
So
I saw one yesterday. So.
New York is not as liberal as they claim it is.
Absolutely not.
No,
If you go
100%
outside,
not.
if you go outside,
Once you leave the city,
the
it's-
city is very
Even in the
especially-
city sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like right in the heart of Long Island, like,
Yeah.
and that's like one of the most red districts in New York.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, our congressman is Lee Zeldin. If that gives you
Because
an
once you get the money, you don't want to let it go, right?
idea. Yeah, exactly. A lot of Long Islanders are very like.
Yeah. Now, what kind of videos y'all watch?
A little bit of everything. I like true crime series, but I also like fashion related things. I like to watch those videos about like real New Yorkers, like what they're wearing or what they think. The people who do kind of what you're doing, interviews on the streets. I don't know if you know who Chris Clemens is.
No.
He used to live here. He used to do interviews on the corner. Fuck, I don't remember where it was, but he went to NYU, so it was somewhere over there. Those are really entertaining because people are always so funny and crazy. So yeah, but I'm down to watch anything.
I really like the series that Vox does, where they just do a lot of like historical videos or a lot of like analysis videos, and I've really been into those. Like I watched the video yesterday on like the history of like the royal family, and like I just thought it was really interesting for whatever reason. And then I was also watching a lot of like weird history videos that was just talking about like, you know, like things like that. There's like really weird like history videos and like things like long form videos that Vox does. I really like. But I also like true crime as well, like BuzzFeed Unsolved. Like
so good.
I really like the series that they do.
What's it tasty?
No, I only watch
They're worth
BuzzFeed
it?
Unsolved. That's like the only thing I watch on there. But I really like those. Like more like long form stuff. I haven't been really into like vlogs recently. I feel like they're too boring. But the long form like investigative stuff I really like.
How did y'all become friends?
So I actually moved out of New York when I was in middle school. My mom got a new job, and she was the only person who didn't bully me at my new school.
Yeah, we've been friends since the 5th grade. So.
Yeah.
So you were in the Bay for a while too.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only reason I could kind of answer some of the questions.
Yeah,
I came back
yeah.
to your expedition.
Did you want to answer any of those questions?
Oh, what were they again? Sorry.
What are some good spots in the Bay that most people don't know about?
Oh, well, I already said Mission Inc. There's this restaurant, Max?
Yeah, Max.
Max, that's really good. God, there's this really, really tiny southern food restaurant. I can't remember it for the life of me, so I'm so sorry for anyone who's watching this. They have the best beignets I've ever had. It's in the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
What else? If you're religious, Glide Church, also in the
Glide
Tenderloin.
Memorial.
Excellent.
Very good.
Glide Memorial, great place to go. That's all I've got so far.
Tell me about what is the difference between Marin, San Francisco, and Oakland? Because you know it's all Bay Area. It's for us, it's all Bay Area,
Marin
right?
is more like coastal, I'd say. Like
Yeah,
Marin
it's like a
is
sea town.
Marin is like more like seaside. San Francisco